Hello, everybody. How are you? Sorry for the last month, but it was a cold cold month. So
Yeah.
we
And you were
stayed.
under the weather.
Yes, yes. So we stayed like a freeze. But okay, my friends. Thank you for being with us. And today, I thought about a very special topic that is the social media. Everybody is using social media. We are living on social media. We are connected all the time with our phones, the watch, the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. So what is the connection with all of that, and how we can deal with that, talking about the Jewish life?
Mhm.
So for that, I invited today my producer.
He dragged me out from behind my table
Yes.
over there. So I'm going to be producing and chatting. So if
Yes.
you see me looking down, but
So
thank you. This is pretty cool.
It's very, very, very nice, because let's tell to the audience how we start with that, because this idea of the podcast, the Shmoozin with Rabbi Ari, started like 2 years ago, right?
Right. We were it was Sukkah.
Yes.
It was the first year we had just, my wife and I were contemplating becoming a member, and we were invited to come down to the,
Let me interrupt you. So if you like to be a TE member,
Yes.
just need to go to the synagogue.
That's
right. It's simple.
That's right.
We like to be a Temple member at Virginia Beach. Just call to us, and we are going to give you everything that you
That's
need
right.
for that. So,
and the temple is located at 25th and Baltic, by the way. So, but yeah, so we were invited to come down by Gail, who was the administrator at the time in the office, and Eileen and I came down, and we were not members yet, but it gave us an opportunity to meet everybody. And then you and I said hello for the first. Well, I shouldn't say we said hello for the first time, because we came for the high holidays.
yes.
But that was really the first time where we had a chance to say hello and get to know each other. And I shared with you what I did, and I used the P word, podcast. And it had been something you were considering in the back of your mind as a way to promote Judaism in our Hampton Roads area, as well as our temple. And we started chatting. And it took a couple of months to develop this concept. And finally, we came to a direction that we felt was good for you and your platform, and really just kind of chatting about Jewish life in the Hampton Roads area and Temple Emmanuel. And what are we in, episode 6 now?
Yes, today is the 6th episode.
Half dozen.
Unbelievable.
So and that's how it all started. And then we've just become good friends over this and just chatting. And yeah, it's a great vehicle for you, which is kind of cool, because I've never seen a rabbi sweat as much as I did on the first episode where he was nervous. But it's been a great platform, because usually with me sitting behind the scenes, it's a unique perspective for me to watch you as my rabbi, but also as a rabbi, sharing the stage that we have here with your guests and talking about Jewish life in general. I mean, this is not a religious-based show. It's not a political-based show. It's just conversation about life. And that's why I enjoy it so much. And, the views for the show have been great. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube as well. And but that's how we met, and that's how it just came from conversation.
Yes,
and I'm delighted.
There is something that many people are telling me that, hey, Rabbi, please slow down, slow down, because
that is one thing.
Yes, I am. If someone, as we talked before the show, if you light a match, I take this fire and I will
like the road runner.
Yes, exactly.
But that's okay, because the energy of doing this is natural. It's a natural energy for you, and your passion for being a rabbi in the Jewish community and what you do and the message that you want to share. The messages you deliver that I've observed, not only watching you and sitting in temple with you, but sitting on the other side of the monitor, you deliver your message with natural passion. You're not beating anybody over the head to deliver a message. You deliver your messages from the heart, that if somebody gets the point anywhere within your message, that satisfies you.
You gave me the way to, or the possibility to tell you something that, for me, I am not talking about the rabbinical vision, not the conservative vision, not the nothing. It's like Rabbi Ari thing about that, and this
Mhm.
is very important for me. I learned from my first rabbi at the seminario in Buenos Aires. He taught on our first class that a rabbi, a conservative rabbi, needs to have in one hand the Torah, and in the second hand the newspaper. It's like you need to do a balance,
Yeah, the
to
juggle.
make a balance with the tradition,
Mhm.
with the Jewish law, and what is going on the day by day.
Mhm.
But beside all of that, let me this rabbi suddenly passed away last year, Rabbi Felipe Yaffe, Zichrono Libracha, that he was really a genius. But after that, I realized something that is very important, that it's not about what the law says to you.
Mhm.
It's like, how do you feel with the law?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because I'm sure this is my thought, my understanding of Judaism. Why I am eating kosher?
Mhm.
Not because the Torah says, you need to eat kosher.
Right.
Because if I believe in God, if I believe on the Torah,
Mhm.
why I am going to go against my on what I believe,
Your beliefs, right?
you know.
Mhm.
So and also there is another thing that is very interesting, that when I am eating kosher, it's not only to satisfy
Your hunger, your
my hunger,
right.
then to satisfy my soul.
Mhm.
Because when you believe on something, you need to make some comfort
Mhm.
to yourself.
Mhm.
And this is what I am trying to do. So you are talking about patience, and to be patient for that. Yes, I am in love with Judaism,
Sure.
and I'm sure that everything that we have on our tradition and our people is for to have a better kind of life, and to
Mhm.
have a really to enjoy all the things that we have
Absolutely.
on the day by day.
Mhm.
So let's start with the idea of this program that is connecting a little bit with Judaism
Mhm.
and the day by day, because we are living in a world of the social media, and also after COVID,
Yeah.
we started to be more focused on the social media, because everything is going through the Facebook, the Instagram, the WhatsApp. I am not doing any publicity to them, but
Right.
you know,
We'll send them a bill.
yes, yeah, okay. So let's understand first something. How did you get into the world of podcasting, of the social media, and tell us?
I answered an ad on Craigslist 20 years ago. Honest to
Okay.
God. I had always dreamt, being a sports guy, I always dreamt about being behind a microphone broadcasting. And I saw an ad on Craigslist pop up for color commentator for Junior Golden Gloves boxing in Mesquite, Nevada, which is a small town that was about 90 miles north of Las Vegas. And I sent in my resume and totally forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 2 or 3 months later, I get an email from the production company saying, "Hey, we received your response. We'd like to know if you're still interested." And it's like, heck yeah, sure. Yeah. What do you want to do? And about 2 days later, the owner of the production company and we met at a Starbucks, ironically, at 6:30 p.m.
So another bill to Starbucks.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Another bill to Starbucks, exactly. And we chatted, and what they decided was, after they had recorded all the boxing that they did, the person that was doing the commentary, they didn't like in post-production. So the beauty of what we do is you can remove audio, you can add audio, you can dress it up. And so they removed this individual's voice, and they needed a new team to record over the action as if it was happening. And so I was hired as the color commentator, which describes the action. The main play-by-play guy or gal tells you what's going on, but the color commentator describes why it happened. Now, I didn't know much about boxing other than being a very casual fan, but I managed to know just enough that I was able to pull it off. And then from there, the gentleman I was paired with, who I'd never met before, he and I chatted after we re-recorded 3 weeks in a row about doing a show together because he was a pro athlete, pro commentator, and I was just a fan of sports, and I just thought we could give that different perspective. And 3 months later, we started a show in Las Vegas called The Sports Zoo. It was just sports talk, and the rest is history. Here I am 20 and a half years later, an overnight
Great.
sensation.
So this give me the chance to ask you the next
Sure.
question.
Mhm.
What feels different today compared to when you first started?
The amount of social media overexposure. You showed this at the beginning of the show. You know, you held up your phone. These are umbilical cords right now for everybody. You know, it's like if you leave your house without your cell phone, it's like leaving your house without your wallet or keys because you're not connected. The hardest part is disconnecting, and I think the reliance on social media for everything, for news, for family contact, for Googling something. It's just multiplied to a level that it's like, not having a right arm if it wasn't attached. So I think in 20 years, the growth and dependency on social media, people don't have television connection. They don't have cable TV or whatnot because they rely on social media for their news, for their podcasts, for TV and for entertainment. That has just become such a way of life now that I think people losing their phone would rather have their arm amputated than not have their phone next to them.
Yeah, totally. So you know that there is a Jewish idea that learning, because let's enter on the Jewish idea of the social media and what we are doing with that. So there is a Jewish idea that learning is not only about information, but about relationship, about sitting together, questioning. It's like what started many years ago, like 1500 years ago when the Rabbi, or maybe 1800 years ago when the Mishnah was written by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, that the rabbis, they sat together to discuss the ideas that we call Hebruta. So to study, it's not only, okay, I will take a book, read, and to study. No. It's like to exchange the ideas. Yes. So it's about sitting together, questioning, listening, and growing. In today's world, many of those conversations happen through screens. So the question becomes, what do we gain and what might we be losing? This is a big question.
By being on social media.
Exactly. So here is the next step. From your experience, how have social media changed the way people communicate and learn today?
Well, I think people are more, would lean more towards typing out what they feel versus having the courage to say something to somebody in person, something derogatory, something, confrontational. They call them keyboard warriors. That's the label that people get for being online somewhere on social media and responding to something behind a keyboard, but would never say that in person, face to face. Okay. So I think what it's done is it's provided a false sense of bravado for people because they're willing to type out a message or a comment on social media versus if they were in a room with said individual, they would never say it in person. No, that wasn't me. What are you talking? That's not me. And in a way, I'm kind of the same way because my public persona of The Voice and Aaron Phillips is my persona that allows me to be on my stage for a reduced fear of repercussion because of what my legal name is. If somebody doesn't like what I'm saying here today, hey, find Aaron Phillips. God bless you. If you can find Aaron Phillips, then maybe we'll have a chat. But the reality is that this name of mine allows me to entertain, to say, to produce without fear of my private life getting involved. And I hate to say it, but what's going on in the news today with Sarah Guthrie and her mom is a prime example of that. Because here you have a family member of someone who's prominent in entertainment, and whatever the motives are and everything, the personal side of that person's life is now involved. Okay. So ever since the COVID era and people hiding behind the keyboard and not having to deal with face-to-face has grown the derogatory life that we see on social media, the comments and things that people can go out there because they can create this handle, this ID on social media that cannot be tied to them directly. And so I think that is one huge side effect to what has gone on with social media. People can hide behind the keyboard and say what they want under these false identities.
But I think when you were saying that, I thought about something that when you are talking, or if you are in a class face to face, and it's not like a camera recording the class,
right?
Okay, if you say something, nobody will know this something wrong,
right?
Or a good thing. Nobody's going to know this.
Correct.
But
there's
on
no
the
evidence.
social media, it's recorded.
Right.
So you can use this idea. So it's a little bit difficult. So do you think that think online spaces create real community, or mostly moments of connection?
Wow. I think to some degree a little bit of both, because you hear these stories about couples who get together and they met them online, these dating services, and they communicate and they fall in love online, and then when they finally come together later on, I think there could be some real connections out there, but you have to be careful. There's catfishing, as they say, or the old joke, you connect with one of these 800 number companies online and they show this picture of a beautiful woman when it's really some 400-pound hairy guy sitting on the couch pretending to be Blondie. You know what I'm saying? So you really don't know. And this and I'm going to take it a step further. This AI and the chat bots and the chat GBT and all of that. All that information that they draw from is only as good as what's out there. There's a disclaimer on the bottom of the screen that, even AI has a subject of error in it. Like Wikipedia posts, it's only as good as the information that's provided by you and I when we update that. So fact checking and all of that is really only as good as the information that's provided. I remember back in college when we were taking a computer class, there was an acronym called GIGO, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If you're putting garbage in there, you're going to get garbage out. There's no guarantee that the information is worth its weight in gold for what's out there. That's why you talked about learning. Learning specialty, you have to do your own research and belief. Now, you should never take anybody's opinion and say that that's wrong. We're all entitled to opinions, but if you don't agree with an opinion, do yourself a favor and research. Maybe there's something to that other person's opinion, rather than it becoming a derogatory situation of arguing. And Facebook entertains me now when I see people arguing over opinion. You want to argue over fact, that's different. 2 + 2 is 4. It's not 5. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But in opinions, everybody's entitled to them. And I get disheartened when I see people arguing over difference of opinions versus differences of factual information.
This is make me feel a little bit confused, and many times, okay, we are not going to understand the society in general, because it's so difficult. If not, we are not going to have too many psychologists and psychiatric. And the point is, when the people are arguing on Facebook, Instagram about opinions,
right?
And my big question is, why you need to show all this? And how of all these, all those ideas are giving like how do you say that? Are giving something that we can gain. You understand? It's
gotcha.
Like what we are contributing to the world, saying that against somebody, because I'm sure that what is going on today on the social media, it's huge, and the information that we have on our hands,
right?
It's unbelievable.
No, absolutely.
How many people are buying today the newspaper?
Oh, newspapers are closing because people are not buying the hard paper anymore.
Because also they are not entering to the website. No, you are reading the news on Facebook or Instagram. That is, you are going to listen because the algorithm, it will take you to the ideas that you need or you believe or what you are thinking about. And it's also scary because if you talk with your wife about to change the microwave, when you are entering to the computer on Facebook, you say, there is a publicity of microwave. So you say, hey, hello.
How you know how I protect myself from that? I don't talk to my wife. Just kidding, babe. Just kidding.
Yeah, so it's very, very, very interesting. So
people thrive on chaos. I'll just leave it at that. People thrive on chaos, and sometimes you have people that will bring gasoline to a bonfire by putting something out there for people to respond to. I mean, we see it every day, and I'm sure people watching can figure out directly, what we're kind of alluding to in terms of creating that chaos. And people thrive on it. And I think it just becomes an ego-minded direction. Let's just create more chaos. We'll thrive on chaos, and I'll come out ahead because of chaos, and I'll stir the pot.
Yes, and also we are not sure that the real news are not fake, or what we are seeing is not fake. So this is very, very interesting. And this is something that for me surprised me, how the interacting on the social media versus the in-person interaction, it's totally different.
Well, I think COVID, when we were locked in for 15 months, we had no other way of communicating on any level with anybody outside of our own house, of course. I'll give you an example. A dear friend passed away during COVID, and we held a memorial service on Zoom, period. And it was people from all across the country. He was laid to rest back east.
I did a funeral.
Right, okay.
On Zoom. I was the only one at the grave and the camera, and I did the funeral.
Right.
Crazy.
So there's a lot of convenient. Look, for as much as we're talking about the negative side of social media, with great power comes great responsibility, as they said in the movie. There are a lot of great positive uses for social media, such as this right now, podcasting and meetings and communication with family and whatnot. So for every negative that may be out there for social media, I believe there's a multiplier of positive use for our platform. It is a great way to get information out quickly, good information. Newscasts don't make money when the entire 30-minute newscast is all good stories. There's a reason the fireman saving the cat from the tree is in the last 30 seconds of a newscast at the end, because nobody watches it for good news. We're all watching it for the negative stuff. It's like TV. It's like all the shows we see now is murder and killings and thrillers and this and that. We don't see 30-minute sitcoms anymore, because our society has changed. And so there is a lot of great usages for our media platform. It's just more people find it easier to use the negative side than to find a reason to use it for good.
Yeah. So, this is really interesting. But
let's take a break.
Yes, let me read those.
Let's do it.
Sources from the Talmud, and then we continue with that. That says on Pirkei Avot, one of the most important tractates at the Mishnah says, "Make for yourself a teacher, acquire a friend, and judge every person favorably." In many ways, social media reshapes how we find teachers, friends, and communities today. The question is, are we building deeper relationships or just wider networks? And in another part of the Talmud says, I have learned much from my teachers, more from my colleagues, and most from my students. So maybe podcasts and digital conversation are a modern version of that learning exchange.
Mhm.
But okay, we need to find a friend, we need to find a rabbi, we need to find a teacher, we can learn from the people who are interacting.
Mhm.
I am teaching many times through Zoom, or I took classes through Zoom,
Right.
but it's not the same.
Nope. People want to do, when I do meetings with people to talk about marketing and advertising, I always want to meet in person. I do offer Zoom as an alternative based on schedule flexibility, because at least you're seeing the person through a Zoom camera. You're seeing their facial reactions. You could gauge that. What I do, it's very important for me to see reaction. So I am very much in favor of trying to meet with people in person first and foremost. If it's just impossible, then I will drop back into a Zoom option to meet with people, to chat with them.
Yeah. So, my friends, let's go to some commercials, and let's continue with our Shmoozin with Rabbi Ari, the 6th episode. Commercials.
Have you heard the news? WVBV TV Virginia Beach has arrived. WVBV TV will bring an exciting lineup of shows streaming from our very own Virginia Beach studio. Since we're an affiliate of WWDB TV Las Vegas, our show lineup will also be available on all of the WWDB TV social media channels. We are looking for new and current show hosts, content creators, and our advertisers who would like to take advantage of our vast audience. Las Vegas Entertainer Hall of Fame member Aaron "The Voice" Phillips is building this brand of marketing and promotional platform right here in Hampton Roads. For more information, email wvbtvinfo@gmail.com or call 702-286-0063. Think outside the box and let your voice be heard.
Does your house need a new paint job, a bathroom remodel, or a new fence around the yard? With 40 years of experience, Different Strokes Painting and Handyman Service handles all type of work inside and out and from floor to ceiling. Different Strokes offers great value and great quality. Call Craig today and schedule your free estimate by dialing 757-395-9999. That's 757-395-9999. Above the rest, they show up and show out by making your vision come to life.
Sometimes I'd like to smack old age right in the kisser. Ow!
I always get the best parking spot.
I think she needs a little more help.
Monday?
What I really need is a boyfriend that can drive at night.
I can make a fashion statement out of anything.
I will be fabulous.
I have a little crush on my pharmacist.
With Comfort Care at your side, you can live your best life possible. We know families can't be there 24/7, which is why we can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands, so you can live in your own home on your terms.
I won't let aging stop me from being me.
Call Comfort Care now and let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match.
Can you show that number again? She was texting.
Together with Comfort Care, you can both live your best life possible.
All right, we're back.
Hello, we are back, and we were also
We're on social media.
Crazy. So, what feels different emotionally between a digital conversation and a face-to-face one?
You can't, it's hard to gauge reaction. I mean, you can look visually, but body response in a relationship is just as important. And I'll revert back to my days of timeshare when I used to sell that product. You know, when I would start conversing with a couple, and I'm not a pressure guy, I would just chat with them. The wife or half of the couple would just be sitting in the table and we'd be chatting and everything. And then the other person, similar to where you're sitting right now, would be sitting away from the table with their arms crossed. And this usually in a sales presentation means that person's closed off, right? So body language was very important for me to read because it told me even more so than just the visual face. So I would make a comment along the lines of, you know, Mr. Smith, every person, male or female, who would come to my table in a timeshare presentation who sat like this, 9 times out of 10, they always purchased at the end. And you should see how fast the arms dropped and they scooted into the table. At least I got them drawn in and I got them to laugh. So to me, the physical cue of watching entire body language was just as important for me as a communicator to then also seeing their facial reaction.
Yes, and also something that always I thought before the social media, I always thought about that at the news. I'm sure that the reporters are with the tie, with the suit, but with the shorts, And this is what happened at on COVID,
right?
Because how many times we needed to show that we were wearing
nice clothes, wearing clothes, period.
Yes, exactly. But and also the face-to-face conversation, the connection, you need to prepare for this moment.
Right.
Even you can study a course and you can assist a podcast, or how many times I know for Yom Kippur that we have the services on Zoom. It's Yom Kippur.
Right.
I'm sure that not trying to make anybody guilty. It's not my point. As I told you on the beginning, if you feel comfortable doing that, you are remembering Yom Kippur. Eating, it's your Yom Kippur. I am not going to judge you.
Right.
Of course, I like that you will come to Temple Emmanuel for Yom Kippur. That it's going to be amazing.
Located at 25th and Baltic Avenue.
So, but how many times, or Yom Kippur, or Rosh Hashanah, or Shabbat, the people are watching the service, eating. It's like having the lunch,
watching a
the
TV
dinner.
show.
It's like a TV show,
right?
So, and when you go to the service, beside to be in person, you can interact.
Well, and being in person is the emotional, I'll say the emotional hug, the emotional enveloping of that experience.
So, saying that, we can say that technology bring people closer, but stay us or make us to stay alone.
Technology will keep people at arm's length. It can reduce the miles of separation, and I use that term generally speaking, but there is no greater experience than being able to do this with somebody.
Exactly.
And make that connection.
Yes.
Because you can't handshake a computer.
It's exactly.
I wanted to throw a computer a few times, but not handshake it.
It's exactly what happened with me. As you know, that I am from New York. No, I am
from Brooklyn, right?
Yes,
Brooklyn accent.
Yes. Or I like to say I am from Florida, because in Buenos Aires there is a neighborhood that is Florida.
Oh,
yes. So no, but it's like that. I connect with my mom, with my sister, with my nieces, my nephews through FaceTime or through WhatsApp, and it's not the same.
No, but it is a great tool, because I remember growing up in the summers. My grandparents had a summer house up in upstate New York in the Catskills. And the only way that I was able to communicate with my parents, because I would go up there for a couple of weeks over the summer, and I loved it. Remember the old days of making collect calls?
Yes.
I mean, that's how we communicated, was I would make a phone call. I'd like to make a collect call to, this is their son. Yeah. And that's how we communicated. Now, it was so funny. The last 2 days, I asked somebody if they knew what a CB was, what a Citizens Band radio was. And they had no clue what a walkie-talkie is called a city. They had no clue, because society changes the tools that we have at our disposal.
Now you can have a walkie-talkie on
your
watch.
You can talk on your phone, on your watch as a phone. We laughed at Dick Tracy doing that back in the day in the cartoons when he would talk into his watch. Yeah. Well, now we do that. It's crazy. And the devices.
Maxwell Smart.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love 86. Take the shoe phone, right? The gadgets and the gizmos. But back in those days.
But I didn't see a shoe, a telephone shoe.
Right, the shoe phone. I thought it was a great invention, but but in the 60s when they did that show, all that stuff was like, oh, this is just stupid stuff. Well, guess what? We're living it.
Yeah.
Somebody took those ideas and said, you know what, Maxwell Smart or Dick Tracy, and who thought we'd fly to the moon and all that stuff. This is, in a way, it's progress, which is, again, the positive side of our society is we can progress and make things more convenient for us. But with everything that's convenient, there are negative sides. And that's what we're talking about, where we have to be careful and how good is the tool for us.
Mm-hmm. So I know that are many, I don't like to say negative points, but as we enter on that, I'm sure that is helping a lot.
Oh, listen, we talked about COVID being the reason that this stuff really developed. On the plus side, or again, as a positive use of social media, when a family member or loved one was in the hospital and you couldn't go in to see them, they brought the nurses or whoever, they brought in a laptop or an iPad for the family to FaceTime them. Yes. So there's the same tool we're talking about.
You know that when Ben was born, my son, that he's going to be 6 years old in June. On June, he was born on June 2020.
Okay.
In the middle
of COVID.
Of COVID, nobody could go to the hospital, and we were very worried if I would even go to the hospital. So
it's real.
So after he was born, we showed it to the entire family. Ben. Through the camera, through the WhatsApp. So was crazy. Was crazy. So, okay, we couldn't be together to hug and to kiss and to stay there. But, hey, make us to be close.
Sure. There was an alternative.
Times.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think that the social media and the podcast are genuinely, thank you.
I'll translate.
Yeah, thank you very much. So helps very much to communities grow.
Yeah.
So because we can share.
Yeah.
But the big question is how we are using that. And how we can tell to the people that don't forget to be in person. Because I saw many times that after COVID, because we have the Shabbat on Zoom, the people decide to stay at home.
Right.
Imagine with last week with minus 17 Celsius. Yeah. Okay, it's like
pretty cold.
Yeah, it was like 20, 15 Fahrenheit.
Yes.
You don't like to go out and to freeze your nose to go to the synagogue. Okay, I will enter through the Zoom, but it's not the same.
No, it isn't. And I don't know if it was really ever designed to be the same. I think, and I'm glad you keep mentioning the Zoom covering the services because we, Temple Emmanuel provides that as an option. Elderly, weather-wise, whatever it is, at least people still have a way to connect.
Yes.
In that method.
And I think we need to, as the social media is helping to the people to be in contact, to be connected.
Right.
We, in person, need to tell the people, hey, you know what? I know that it's easier for you to stay at home, but you know what? I like to hug you.
No, absolutely.
I like to schmooze with you after the service.
Now you know why the show is called Shmoozin.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's 100% correct. And you hit on a point. I think it became a matter of convenience for a lot of people to have that Zoom option. And as the world opened back up, that became the new habit. Instead of getting dressed to go to services, oh, here we are for 15 months, right? I'm clicking on the Zoom to attend services. They just never changed their habit back. And I think a lot of times it just becomes routine for us.
Mm-hmm. So, almost arriving to the end, what is the line between sharing something meaningful and just creating content?
Depends on who you talk to. Before we get into that, I want to make note that Facebook, that the majority of people that I know are on, has a different mode of operation than, let's say, LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn as a social media platform tends to be more business.
Yes.
Like they don't necessarily want to see pictures of your cat eating their cat food or chasing the bird.
Even I don't know why the people need to show the cat eating the food or
well,
why?
Why? But you find that stuff more on the Facebook, the TikToks, more of the generalized social media platforms. Now, I think maybe it really got heightened during COVID because people were bored. People were just bored at home. There were a lot of people remote working. I mean, I was remote working at the time. I was tutoring students online through the elementary school that I was employed by. And my wife, listen, school was online. So it transitioned to the online life. And I just think people got bored, like, oh, well, this is a great recipe I'm cooking. Let me just show what I'm cooking and show it I'm eating it. Or
yes, but you will be agree with me that to see the cat eating the food, or to watch someone cooking, or to watch someone repairing an old car that he found, I don't know where, on the middle of the forest. And how much or how long you stay on this social media
to watch it?
Yes.
Boredom or curiosity. And it's funny because you bring up two ends of the spectrum there. The cat eating the food, I have no interest in. But I can watch somebody.
But you scroll down.
But I would scroll past it though, because it's in my feed. I have no choice but to at least see it for a second or two. But then if there's a guy working on a car, like you talked about, and he's converting it to a Batmobile, I'm watching it all day long because there's something in there that
and it's going to be 30 minutes. I say, hey,
where did that time go?
I need to go.
Right, I'm never going to get that time back. Absolutely. Because I think deep down there's a part of us, because we are so tied up in our day doing what we do, that I think there's a subconscious need in our brain to do something that's totally mindless and not be worth anything other than, in a way, for our brain to relax. Now,
but we need to make a balance, because
true that. Yes, I agree to that.
And I am very scared about the kids, because
that's always been
I think that they have an extension on their hands. That is
But whose fault is that? Think about what I'm about to say now. The kids are in the back seat of the car making all sorts of noise, kicking and screaming. Here's my phone. Just play on the game and please be quiet.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yes.
So I think part of that comes from that.
I agree with that. So do you think that constant connectivity affects our attention or our relationships?
Yes. Oh, did you want me to expand on that? Yeah, it is, because I mean, growing up as a kid, go outside and play until the lights come home.
No, they don't know what is
right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly, because look, in my household, growing up and as a parent to my kids, they had to get their work done and their responsibilities first before they had an opportunity to do whatever they wanted, more or less. And and as someone who has spent 30 years in the school system as a sub and as a tutor, and being around with my wife, who is a teacher and an educator and an admin for almost 40 years, and everybody else, all of this starts at home. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, kids are sent to school where the teachers are like almost surrogate parents for a lot of students, because there are situations at home. And a lot of times it is no direct effect or caused by the child, but things happen. We know that. And so I think what tends to happen is the convenience of these umbilical cords of phones and iPads just make it easier for a parent to not sit down with their child and talk with them and do their homework, or just, how was your day? Here's the computer. Just leave me alone for an hour because I need my time.
Totally agree. And let me tell you something. Because of that, I love to be Jewish and to live as a Jewish guy. Why? At my home, Shabbat and Hagim festivities, we are not watching TV, not cell phones, not tablets, not video games, not Alexa, not Siri.
Now that you're totally shut off.
We are having a time with the family. And this is amazing, because even if we need to be connected, because we need to do the balance, the Torah and the newspaper, okay? But hey, this is great. But let's put on aside and let's return to the basis, to the roots. Let's have this feeling of to share your life with your parents, with your kids, with the family, with the friends,
even with just yourself.
Because of that is what Judaism, I think, is. It's so huge and so intelligent, so smart. Hey, you know what? You have a day to stop and to share the Shabbos dinner, the Shabbos lunch, the tefillah, the Oneg Shabbat, the festivities. Again, now it's coming in 3 weeks. So May 2nd, sorry, not May 2nd, no. March 2nd, 6 p.m. at Temple Emmanuel, we will have a huge Purim fest with Megillah, with Hamantaschen, with drinks, with everything that we have on Purim. So you need to come. And this is an opportunity to
experience and be with people.
Exactly. And also, we will have on April 2nd, another thing, save the date. April 2nd at Temple Emmanuel, we will have the second Seder, Passover Seder. So it's an opportunity to be with the people, to enjoy, to share your ideas. I remember my father, Zichrono Livracha, he always told me that he loved very much the Passover Seder. Why? Because we discuss a lot.
Sure.
We argue each other, saying, no, this is like that. No, this is like that. And he always says, hey, you're going to read also when the Agada was publicized. No way. So, that. We need to do the Manishtana. We need to do the Dayelo. So, this was amazing. And was not on the phone. Or watching the Maccabees singing No. It's like
the human interaction.
Exactly. So this is a really, really interesting. So has working in podcasting changed how you see community or relationships?
So I'm sorry, John put a comment in our chat and he says a screwdriver is a tool that can be used to build things, but can also be used to stab someone. It depends on who is holding it.
Yeah.
I think that describes social media. Thank you for watching. That's a great comment, because that really is, I think, what social media is. It's a great tool, but with great power and great tools comes responsibility. And how do you use it? So repeat your question again.
The question is, has working in podcasting changed how you see community or relationships?
For me personally, I think it's all a positive experience, because I think my shows that I host, that I produce with you, brings people together. My shows that I'm involved with, I don't talk politics, I don't talk religion. I don't want to do those things that create separation. So my power of podcasting, I believe, is for the power of good and bringing community together. I educate, I inspire, I provide laughter. I do all of that to wanting to bring people together. So I think for me, the power of podcasting has all been positive because I try to bring to light all the goodness within a community and the people involved in what shapes the community. I now just started a new TV show called The Voice of 757. This is called a cheap plug on Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. on Channel 4, local Cox Cable. And I focus all that just on Hampton Roads. And I'm bringing people forward to show others in our community that, yeah, you may hear all the bad stuff and shootings and accidents and this and that, but there's a lot more good stuff. And that's why I think the power of podcasting, the way I do it, is meant to bring people together.
So
do you think I ever thought I would sit next to a rabbi to do a podcast? And I say that generally speaking. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and you know who my rabbi was back in Las Vegas, Rabbi Felipe Goodman, okay?
Yeah.
I would have never thought, because I never got close enough with him. I mean, the congregation out there was huge. And so it was very difficult to get close to him in that environment. But for me now, here I am, I roll forward all these years later, and now I'm producing a show with you, not for you, but with you. And now here you are, you asked me to be a guest on your show. I never thought I'd sit here next to a rabbi to talk about what today it's all about social media and the power of it. So that's why I say I like to bring the good forward in what we do, because we have a very powerful tool that people on an average of 30, 40, 80, 200,000 people per week have exposure to. That's the power of good of what we do with podcasting.
So taking this idea, what do you think that is, or what are the things that the people are looking for, searching for on a podcast, on social media?
It's such a great question. If we can ever figure that out with 100% accuracy, I'm selling it in the bottle.
Yes, okay.
because episodes, I can have what I think is a great show, and my viewership is not like the week before when I talked about paint drying. And I say that facetiously because on my Aaron's Hour show, John and I have done what I call my Seinfeld episodes, where I don't have a guest plan, almost like today for you, where you don't have your typical guest, you have me come in. Yes, we have a topic, but John and I will just talk about anything, nothing particular, and I'll get 250,000 views. But I'll have Rabbi Ari on with me, and for whatever reason, I'll only get 75,000 views, because we don't know on any given day what it is that somebody out there on the other side of that camera is really looking for on that day. But the benefit of what we do as a podcast, as long as I don't delete it, or you don't delete it, or John doesn't delete it, this show will be out there forever. And whether it's a week from now, a year from now, or millennia from now, someone who wants to look up social media and a rabbi in Virginia Beach, this show and our conversation will last forever.
Yeah. This really...
So if you can figure out what everybody will want week after week, let me know, please.
Yeah. So the last question, and with that I will end, is what role should technology play in building community, and where should it stop?
Oh, gosh. I think that all I think that should all point towards one thing, and that's communication on all levels, business level, personal level, because we want information now. That's the thing, is we're a society of wanting stuff now. I'd like to think there'll be a wall at some point where we've done everything we possibly humanly can do to speed up the need for communication, whether it's educational, saying hello to somebody, research. But as people want stuff faster and faster and faster, I think communication will continue to develop. And I don't know. I think we're only limited by our minds of thinking.
So, there is a well-known Talmudic story about Rabbi Yohanan and Reish Lakish. It's written on a Talmud, Baba Metzia. They were study partners who challenged each other constantly. After Reish Lakish passed away, Rabbi Yohanan received a new student who always agreed with him. And instead of comfort, he felt deep loneliness. He said, when Reish Lakish argued with me, together we reached deeper truth. Maybe technology gives us more voices than ever before, but the real question is whether it helps us find meaningful disagreement, deeper learning, an authentic connection. Like the Talmudic partners, community is not just about being heard, but about growing through dialogue. Maybe social media is a bridge, not a destination. Because if our entire world existed only inside a phone or a tablet, we might be connected, but we would still feel alone. So, my friends, I really appreciate that you are watching our podcast, because the idea of this podcast is to make the community closer and to show how the Judaism or Rabbi Ari's views of Judaism are, and to share with you that to be Jewish and to live as a Jewish, it's really, really fun. And we can use the social media, of course. It's a fact. We can have all the benefits. We can get all the benefits of social media, but we cannot forget that we need, and we are saying not only need, we must be connected with the others, because it's not the same to, hey, I sent to you a hug, than
the air hug, right? Exactly.
Yes, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Human. This is human.
Exactly. And I can take my.
Well, you can, but you
yes,
have to clean it
but
up.
it's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's not the same. So, my friends, use the social media, enjoy the social media, but don't forget to have these relationships, family, friends, connections, to feel, to hug, to kiss, because this is the real life. And this is virtually. So, my friends,
When's
I
the
hope.
Next show? When's the next show?
Next show is going to be on March 18th. And it will be an amazing show talking about education and tzedakah. So we will have a guest coming from the JFS and also from Straits International Academy. So I hope you are going to be with us on March 18th, 10 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook. And remember that March 2nd, 6 p.m. at Temple Menor, we will have the Tefillah of Purim with Megillah, Oznei Aman, or Hamantashen, and drinks and everything to have fun. And remember also that April 2nd, 6 p.m. to the second Seder of Passover, it would be at Temple Menor. So, my friends, thank you very much. Aaron, thank you as always.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be with you and to have this space. John in Vegas, thank you very, very much. So, my friends, a huge hug. I like to hug you really, really, you know.
High five.
So, high five. So, bye, my friends. Thank you very, very much. Kisses. See you.